serious, what are some men's issues that are overlooked? Insecurity in general. You're not supposed to show that you have doubts or worries about your abilities or self-image. A man is supposed to be confident, able and self-assured. It's not okay for men to admit that they lack self-esteem or that they have genuine problems with their self-image, as they are seen as weaknesses in and of themselves. Other men or women aren't going to bring you up. They won't provide emotional support and tell you it's okay to be unconfident or to feel shame about who you are. They will simply expect that you should take it on the chin. Not everyone can be that guy, but for a man, what actually makes you feel like a man is being that guy? So you kind of walk around pretending that you're happy, despite the fact that you're not seen as valuable or as desirable as other men, because in doing so, you would be seen as even less valuable or desirable. Too long didn't read. If you feel like shit and are insecure, it's bad, but if you display that you feel like shit and are insecure, it's even worse. Duck. I've never really been able to put that feeling into words before, but that felt insanely good to get off my chest. Isolation. I felt this myself, and I've done some reading about it. Men tend to become more isolated and lonely as they get older. After a certain point, they don't make an effort to gain friendships and tend to shy away from any type of social engagement. I feel this way because as of right now, I don't have a close male friend. At least not someone I can talk to about things going on with me personally. I know a lot of people, but I'm less and less engaged with them as each year passes. It concerns me as of late, because I don't want to end up a hermit. But without a solid relationship, I could see myself headed this direction in my older years. Loneliness. I have friends and a great dad, yet still feel lonely. Why? Abuse from women, other men. We are told to just take it and toughen up. It builds character, puts hair on the chest, etc. And we don't need support or a helping hand. Duck that. The lack of a good support system. Just because a guy has people that he hangs out with doesn't mean he's comfortable telling them serious personal issues. I don't the accuracy of the statement, but I read that majority of men between ages 40-35 are lonely. I can speak for myself, and that's true. It had been more than a year I had any human interaction outside my family. Even though your family has your back, but you don't tell them all the things you are going through, just because you don't want to bother them with your problems, because you feel your problems don't matter and you should be able to face it on your own. Mental health. And this is coming from someone who has lived on the ideas of you're a guy. Get over yourself. It was taught to me. I didn't think much of it. And now that I'm about to hit 20, I can feel the effects like a ripple. It's actually hard for me to open up to people, and when I do, I feel like I'm wasting everyone's time. In Western culture, men are defined by what they do and not by who they are being. So, when they retire, they often develop mental illness because they are no longer doing. This often leads to suicide. Then there's the whole nonsense of the stoic emotionless man getting on with the work. Not even always suicide. A lot of times they just sit in a chair, turn on the TV, and waste away. I'm late to the party, so this will get lost. But in my experience, it feels like dudes are expected to work 70+ hour weeks and be proud of it, or else they're lazy. Like, no a-hole here. I'm going to be working at least 65 hours next week between 2 jobs, which is ducking plenty, and that includes both daytime and overnight shifts. If I complain for even a sentence though, I'm going to be shit talked by the crew when they think I can't hear them. I'm tired. I like doing things that aren't work. That shit just isn't sustainable for some people. So this one might not be as serious as the others. I babysit my friends' kids all the time. One is 3 and the other is 11. I like to take them out and about to have some fun. We go eat food. We go to the park. And arcades too. We have a ton of fun. But I always get weird looks from people. They don't look like me at all, because I'm not the father. I've had people interrogate me, and it's weird to me. I've been there their entire life and treat them like my own kids. So it kinda hurts. So I'm at the park playing tag with these kids I'm babysitting, And out of nowhere this old lady comes up to me and starts asking all sorts of questions. Do you know these kids? What are their names? Can you call their parents for me? Even asking the kids if they knew me, and when they answered yes, she responded with, you don't have to lie. If you don't know this man, you can tell me and I can help you. Emotional abuse of men. My BF suffered that in both his marriages, and I'm so careful to not say or do anything that could make him feel the way they made him feel. I try very hard to be sure he knows I value him for who he is, just the way he is, every single day, even he doesn't know how much damage they caused him. I will never get over this 1950s assumption that women can't abuse men. Women abuse men way more often than anyone realizes, and the system is stacked against men in so many different ways. Crushing, black, empty, cold, never ending, screaming into the void, loneliness, and everyone's casual shrug when I even hint about it. Just work, pay taxes, walk the dog, keep your mouth shut, don't have feelings, don't be short, try to keep up appearances of virility, and never, ever, whatever you do, don't let anyone know how lonely you are, because they'll just sort of awkwardly giggle and change the subject. Isolation. Many men have no friends. More so, they don't know how to find meaningful friendships. It's incredibly difficult to know where to even begin. Marizo, if you're not in college or school. I'm 24, almost 25, and never had an emotional outlet. I don't even know what that looks like in a healthy sense. The first relationship I had, I believe I ruined, because I put too much of what I had been carrying for so long on that person. As patient and as caring as they were. The miserable paternity leaves. Cause what man wants to spend time with his newborn kid and a recovering wife, right? My country just raised it from 3 days to 2 weeks within 6 months after the birth, which still isn't a lot. Loneliness. Many men tend to have a lot of friends, but never close friends or people they feel like truly care about them, which leads to declining mental health. And maybe worse. Erectile dysfunction. It seems like a joke, but guys literally kill themselves because of it. It's like losing the ability to love, losing your manhood, losing your ability to feel intimate with someone. Mental health. Oftentimes men are made to believe mental health struggles show weakness or vulnerability, when in reality it is not something they can control. There are almost always more shelters available to women experiencing homelessness. In my city, the split is about 75% beds for women and children and 25% for men. I understand that society considers women more vulnerable, but I live in a city where it routinely gets below zero in the winter. Hypothermia doesn't care about your gender. You can't cry. You can't have emotional issues. You are supposed to know the answer to all problems. Kind of a hidden one that's clouded by many of today's norms and cultural values. But the concept of disposability with men and many things that make them individual beings. I'm a single father with primary custody of a school-aged child with little social support in my area. I was also the stay-at-home parent while I went back to college and completed my degree. It is damn near impossible to find good childcare. My female work friends volunteer, but then bail at the last minute. I'm looked at as a threat by husbands of my son's classmate parents. I find that I'm often the only guy at the playground, and get sideways glances from the cliques of women who go there. If I hire a babysitter, I have to make sure I'm overly cautious about respecting boundaries, if I'm even able to have a babysitter watch my child. Also, the normal competition among female mothers gets amplified, and I'm often looked down on as a parent. I don't fit in with working guys who just want to go out and get a beer, because I have a child to take care of, and women often reject me on online dating sites simply because I have a child. I love my son, and would do anything in the world for him. I feel like I've done a lot, but men in my situation have zero to little support or infrastructure to manage as a single, full-time parent in society. Men can be just as good parents as women, and society needs to normalize this pronto. Male pattern baldness and the impact it can have on mental health and body image. Imagine being in college surrounded by guys with perfect NW1 hairlines with all these cool fades and modern trendy hairstyles, while you're stuck looking like Moby or Varys from GOT. Brutal. I describe the feeling of losing your hair as like looking in the mirror and seeing a tiny scar on your face, but knowing that the scar will grow ever so slightly every day. There's nothing wrong with either scars or baldness, of course, but there is with the way some people will treat you if you have them. Male disposability. If something is dangerous, send men. Your partner can replace you easily. Your only value is what you offer to other people, and the minute you are not useful anymore, people cast you aside like the fungible commodity you are. I would like to be treated like I have inherent value as a person, not like I'm something to be tolerated until I'm no longer useful. Consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more of Reddit Universe,